John 17:20 and 21 says, I do not ask on behalf of these alone, but those who also believe in me through their word, that they might all be one, even as you, Father, and I are you, one in you, and they may also be in us, so that the world may know and believe that you sent me. Well, if you're joining us in reading through the 60-day reading plan, today's reading is John 17, and I encourage you to read that passage. John chapter 17 should have a special meaning for all of us. It is here that Jesus prays specifically for us. This chapter should be burned into our hearts because it tells us what Jesus has done, what God has done, and what we should do. The richness of this chapter should overflow into our lives. And unfortunately, because sin is the reality, is that we are not together. We are not one group of people because of what we believe and are set apart so that the world will believe us. It didn't take long for this unity to be broken after Christ had ascended into heaven. By the end of the 2nd century, there were several heresies that began to creep into the Christian world. These were blocked by men and women who had a strong relationship to Christ, but the farther we got from the apostles, the more heresies seemed to creep in. Each time one heresy would make some inroads, the church would gather as a group in the form of a council, and they would deal with that heresy. But by the 11th century, there were two major factions in the church. The Western Church, centered in Rome, wanted to dictate what everyone should believe, and the Eastern Church, centered in Constantinople, rejected that idea, and in 1051 the two split. In 1517, Martin Luther began the Reformation process in Wittenberg, Germany, and Western denominations have been splitting ever since. We are now more disunited than we are united. No wonder the world views us as irrelevant religious movements. The only way that we can change this is by returning to that which was begun in the 1st century. That means we must change our thinking, repent, and renew our relationship to Christ. That's the only way we'll become relevant again.